So we brought this out the other night when Zamaria asked the question about the difference between Shabbat and Sabbath. And we just shared that Sabbath, if we use the glyph for Sabbath, the TH sound, it's a different glyph. It's closely related to Shabbat, but it sort of changes the connotation of what Shabbat is. So reason why we can't keep Shabbat with a Roman calendar, Shabbat is a Hebrew word, and you could process our glyphs in so many different ways. But when we all are restored to our true Israelite or Hebraic culture, even though we process it different ways, we'll all be saying the same thing. So if you're not, if you're still learning, we start on the right side and we read right to left. So the first glyph you should read is the one, it looks like an E that's been flipped on his back or whatever. It's really a picture of two front teeth. And the two front teeth, it makes the Shah sound. And then the second glyph you see, we say it's just a picture of a house, like a floor plan of a house back in the Bible days. You know, you got your entrance, and then you got a wall that partitions the house. So this is just a glyph of a house. It gives us the ba sound. That's why we call our building bayat. So this is the ba sound. And then this last glyph, it looks like the pagan cross. It's the ta sound. So these three glyphs together is Shabbat. And one way to process this, your two front teeth are together. You know, if they don't have a gap, your two front teeth are together. So Shah, you're being joined. Ba could be a prefix for like Bahasham. We're saying by the name. So you're being joined by, and this ta is the mark. You're being joined by a mark, or you're being joined inside of the covenant. That's what Shabbat means. That's why on Pagan Saturday, we still say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, because even though it's not the true Shabbat day of covenant, we understand that we have a covenant. We have an oath with the Most High. So does that make sense to anybody? Anybody have a question about that part? Did we go out? Mic
No
check one.
question. We hear you. No question.
Okay, all person. So that's the first part of it. So Shabbat just means we have an oath or a covenant. But let me do a new share here. So Shabbat is oath for a covenant, but Shabbat is based on a Hebrew word. Make sure I got the right one for y'all. So Shabbat is based on the Hebrew word Shabbat. Is it sharing yet, family? All praises. So Shabbat is based on the Hebrew word Shabbai. And Shabbai is just, y'all see, is just one character different at the end. Instead of the ta, you have the picture of an eye, and it's just Shabbai. And Shabbai is also the Hebrew word for seven. Seven is Shabbai in Hebrew. And again, there's many different ways we can process this. Just for this context, Shabbai means I'm conjoined inside forever. I'm joined inside forever. Marianne, can you pull that script for us? If my word abide in you, if my word abides in you and you abide in my word, or something like that.
Okay, 1 second.
And it'll make this glyph a little bit more plain. this is the power of learning your original tongue. You can't get this understanding with any of the other dialects. The other dialects, not to be mean or not to be, the other dialects are just adulterations. They're not. This right here is what Masha wrote with. This is what Masha wrote with. This is what Adam wrote with. This is what they got from the Shemayim, from the heaven. Anything other than this is man-made, is of Satan. It is not. To the case, we have to be adults about it. You ready?
John chapter 15. Excuse me. I'll start at verse 6. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch. 1 second. Excuse me. He is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So that's in red, right? That's red letter.
Yes, sir. It's my shot speaking. Yep.
This is the king. This is the king talking, saying, if my word abides in you. But this is when Christianity is off, because they don't know the culture. When Hamashiach said, if my word abides in you, he's not talking about his word, because who does he speak for?
He speaks for the Most High.
He speaks for the Most High. So this is really the Most High talking through his son. So if you abide in my word, if you abide in my word, if you're listening to my son, then you're going to abide in me. And that's related to the Hebrew word Shabai. We're conjoined inside the Most High forever. Now, to prove or to show him that we're with him and we're abiding in his word, we Shabbat, we keep the covenant. And the Shabbat day is a sign. The text, y'all know the text, it says a perpetual. Y'all know perpetual is forever. So that's what Shabbat means. That eye, the glyph of an eye, means to continue and endure for a long time, because your eye, you can see when you look, you take for granted how far away you're looking. When we look up at the sun, that's miles away. When you look down the road, if there wasn't for terrain, you could see way down the road somewhere. So the picture of the eye represents longevity or forever. So Shabbat is based on the Hebrew word Shabbai, 7, to be joined inside forever. So to have a Shabbat, you need 7, because the Most High based the Shabbat on 7. So this is some old information we shared, I think like 2 years ago. And this is why I say you can't keep Shabbat with the Roman calendar. No matter if you're using Sunday or Saturday, you're not keeping Shabbat. And of course, you guys can field questions when we're done. I'm not, pushing this on anyone. It's just sharing information. So, okay, all praises. You guys can see it. All praises. So again, this is just right off Wikipedia, so you can have a source. And then the right side of the screen is coming from edamononline.com, just so you can, verify the information. Shabbat is based on the Hebrew word. It says 7, period of 7, as of days or years. And this heptad is, is based on 7. And then the pagans have the word week. Their word week comes from our word Shabbat. And another outline of biblical usage, a period of 7 days a week. The right side here is just giving you the etymology. Week, Old English, wuku, wees, etc., from Proto-Germanic, probably originally with the sense of a tourney or succession. It's giving you a Old Norse, sea mile, originally change of an oar. And then it says, meaning primarily change, alteration. The word may once have denoted some earlier time division, such as change of moon, half moon, but there's no positive evidence of this. No evidence of a native Germanic week before contact with the Romans. The 7-day, which is ancient, probably originating from the 28-day lunar cycle, divisible into 4 periods of 7 days, at the end of each which the moon enters a new phase, reinforced during the spread of the Israelite way of life by the ancient Israelite 7-day week. So to have a Shabbat, you need 7. Here's a, try to make this bigger. You guys can go verify this information. I implore you to, I beg you to. Here's the calendar from the pagans, the Romans, aka the Babylonians, for the last 3 years. I'm trying to hide these. So I wish I could make this bigger, but I don't think I can. Here's 2020, 2021, and 2022. Now, we just showed you that according to the Most High, a week is a group of 7. And y'all know, you guys are all Bereans. You know, he told us work 6 days and then what?
Rest on the 7th.
Rest on the 7th. That completes a Shabbat, a week. You work 6 days and the 7th is rest. So if you don't have a group of 7, you're not keeping Shabbat. It's impossible. So if we're using the Roman/Babylonian calendar in 2020, they started their month, they started their year with 1, 2, 3, 4 days. In their system, they're counting this as a week. But according to our Abba, this is not a week. So your year, the start of your year sets the foundation for your whole calendar. If your foundation is off, the rest of your whole year is off. So they didn't even start their year with 7 days here. And then you see the rest of the months. February, they started February. They're going to count this one day right here as a week. January, the same. 2021. 2021 is the same thing. They opened up their year with a Friday. And then the next day is Shabbat. How can you have a Shabbat and you ain't worked 6 days? So that's why I'm saying, or the Most High dropped in my spirit, whether you use Saturday or Sunday for our Christians, you can't have a true Shabbat with their system. And then here's the current year, pagan year 2022, they open up with Saturday. So if you don't have a group of 6 work days and then a 7th day, there's no way you can keep Shabbat with the Babylonian/Roman calendar. Any comments or questions about that?
Real quick, just a witness to this. I heard about the moon determining the Shabbat on YouTube before I had met you, and it was too heavy for me at the time. But you know how the Most High works. If he wants you to know something, he gonna give you 2 or 3 witnesses. So you was the other witness, and this right here is what really got it for me, because before you did this presentation, you said it to me, just, you know, how we just be talking in the class, and you was saying how, you know, some of the weeks just start on Shabbat, or it doesn't go, you know, 7 days. And I didn't know anything else. I didn't know how to count nothing or nothing. But I remember coming home and telling Nariah, I was like, well, the one sticking point that's really making me, you know, want to look into this more, that I said, I came to the point, I was like, well, I'm not sure if this moon thing is right at that time back then, but I said, but I know every Saturday is not right. And it was because of this, because I could see that there's no way you starting a new year with Saturday or 2 days and it's Shabbat, because it's supposed to be 6 days and then rest. So this is so major. It could be so simple, but it's so major at the same time. So I seen in the chat a warrior, she said like she was blown away, and I just wanted to let her know too, I was blown away. Like this thing right here, it is monumental. And if you fair and you really open-minded and open-hearted to the Most High, like this destroys, just with this one little piece, it's no way that every Saturday is the Shabbat.
All praises. And I will confess, I was blown away, because when I was building the class, I want to help. I don't want to hurt. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to chop down. I'm here to uplift. How can we help the people? So I'm always asking Abba, how can we make this plain? Because everyone don't want to do all this reading. Like, you guys are geeks. A lot of people, they just want that fast food. Give me the burger, the cheese, and the lettuce. But it takes a lot to get this understanding. Help us, Father.
And then, then what I was teaching as well, I'm glad you brought that out, is, in ancient times, we didn't have any pagan names of the week. You know what I mean? You had the new moon, and then the next day was day one. You see what I'm saying? And that was throwing a lot of people off. These pagan names on the week. You know what I mean? And that's what's throwing a lot of people off with the Roman Greco calendar. There were no names of the week. It was, the days were just numbered. From after the new moon.
It's a lot of moving parts to it. I don't want to do a full calendar class. It's already late. We do got full calendar class. We got 2 different sets now on the channel. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't know why the Father dropped this in my spirit today. Maybe someone is out there searching or researching right now. But whether the Catholics, aka the Christians, they think Sunday, and to my adopted seminaries and colleges out there who are going to say that y'all don't keep Sabbath, you do keep Sabbath. You're keeping the Catholic, aka Constantine Sabbath, because you don't put that suit on Monday. You don't put that suit on Tuesday. And for those who are ordained with that black and white collar, you don't put that collar on Monday. You don't put that collar on Tuesday. You put that collar on SUN day. So SUN day is your Sabbath, you think, because of the Romans. But according to the Most High system, if you don't have a clip of 7, that's not Shabbat. So Saturday or Sunday, there's no way you can use the Roman, aka Babylonian system to keep Shabbat. So a great point, Marianne. Any other comments or questions? Shamoya, can you see the chat? Because for some reason now, when I click chat, it just disappears from me. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Naham, y'all said that's too heavy for him. Abijah, you not gonna talk about their good Greco-Roman calendar.
Stop, Jeff.
He said, Marian, we ain't got us no friends as it is. And then a warrior said, I definitely needed to see that. All praises.
All praise to Abba Yah. All praise to Abba Yah.